Here's things I'm thinking about in terms of future products or engineering approaches, and you're like, wow, this young adult really has it pieced together of, you know, what engineering is about. What do you do with the things we teach you in the classroom? You know, he wants to do the engineering, the business side, and be impactful in people's lives, right? And I think part of what he's doing here at the university from an educational standpoint, as well as a student athlete, right? He's helping to influence people.
Coming down on Edquist. Left-handed shot, scores! Dylan Steman right through the wickets. Misiak across the line, got a bounce off of the official. Looking in front, there's a shot, and Steman with the goal! Draw. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. Steman with a shot, scores! Dylan Steman!
Michigan Tech co-captain Dylan Steman came to campus in the fall of 2014 and has been a great example of not only what a quality hockey player is, but what a quality student is.
So in high school, I didn't really know. I was kind of focused on all hockey. I figured I'd go for engineering. If I had to decide something, I was like, oh, that seems kind of interesting. I think I could do that. And then I found out about Michigan Tech actually through Tyler Hainen at one point. And then Billy McCult and Damon Witten kind of came to some games and then offered me. And came in, I visited in July. A little bit interesting of a time to come here, but seemed like a good fit, so I came here.
When he got to campus, Dylan was trying to figure out what type of career path he wanted to take.
Came in right away just general engineering for the first semester and kind of took a look at some different stuff, and I ended up mechanical just because I thought it was the most broad. I didn't really feel pigeonholed in anywhere. I have a lot of interests. I still don't know really what I want to do, so I think it opens a lot of opportunities up.
I met him as a freshman, and so he often would ask, well, should I go in mechanical, should I go civil? And so I said, well, here's what civils do, and here's what mechanicals do. And then I had him in a class in consulting engineering, because it was a senior level class, and so he was just outstanding.
So the first time I met Dylan was the first time I was teaching a class here at Michigan Tech as a faculty member. It's a classroom of 180 people. It's my first day on the job, first classroom, and I get going into lecture, and all of a sudden I see a hand come up in the classroom, right? And I'm like, it's pretty early in class, who's going to be asking a question already? Well, it was Dylan, and it was one of those questions where you're like, man, he must know what's coming 2 slides or 3 slides ahead in the lecture. And even at that point, right, kind of realize, you know, he's beyond what you're trying to cover immediately in lecture. He's already connecting the dots. And I was fortunate enough to have him in that first class. He was also in my lab section, a smaller group of 14 students. And you can kind of really see his nature of competition, as well as trying to elevate the performance of everybody else. You know, I've never been on the ice playing hockey. I can't skate, but I could imagine that's what it's like for a lot of his teammates.
Dylan is a 3-time WCHA Scholar Athlete and 3-time recipient of the team's John McGinnis Slide Rule Award, given annually to the Husky with the best GPA.
You know, I don't think I spend not a significant amount more time than other people. I guess I think that varies a lot within the guys on the team, who studies the most and kind of who really gets after it there academically. But there's a definite balance, and for me, I like, especially later in the week, I really focus on hockey. You know, after Thursday night, I'm not doing anything until Sunday. That's just kind of the way it's been for me, and I've been able to get away with doing it that way. So maybe Sunday, Monday, grind a little bit and get some stuff done for the week, but then as the week goes on, I can kind of shift more towards just pure hockey.
I think all of our student athletes, no matter what program they're in, it's just amazing time management that's required, and their commitment to their sport is just amazing. And the other thing that's really, if you look at a student athlete in a team project, they're used to working in teams.
As far as engineering goes, it's not a very easy curriculum to get through. There's a lot of math and lab work that goes along with the courses that you have to kind of figure out how to squeeze in and make up if you're on the road quite a bit. And I know the hockey team travels quite a bit, so it becomes a challenge, but faculty here are very willing to work with the student athletes on accommodating needs to do assignments early, lab work early or late, etc. But it really comes down to being a very focused individual to get the task done.
Dylan graduated in the spring of 2018 with a mechanical engineering degree and had all A's except for one class.
So this is my senior year. I took an elective class. I had to take electives like 4,000 level engineering, and you could take them in any department. So I'm from Minnesota and there's a lot of medical industry there. So I thought it was really interesting and I was like, okay, well, I'll do medical devices. My mom works at Boston Scientific, so I was like, medical devices, I'll do that one. I had a friend in the class and it ended up being very difficult. And I think I ended up with an AB in the class, so that was my only non-A.
On the ice, Dylan has appeared in 134 games for the Huskies and totaled 66 points, scoring 26 goals and adding 40 assists. He talks about his favorite hockey moments.
I would say going back to my freshman year, like that was my first, wow, this is college hockey. We started 10-0 and we went right to #1 in the nation. I just remember calling my parents, 2 months into the season, we hadn't lost yet. And I was like, I mean, if this is college, this is awesome. Like, I love this. And I guess something memorable there is, I'm from Minnesota. I didn't know a lot about the Michigan Tech rivalry and kind of how historic it was. So when they came here for that weekend and we swept them at home and that kind of kick-started our season, I really enjoyed that. And then 2 years ago when I wasn't playing, seeing that home championship against Bowling Green, that was incredible. And then last year going to Northern, I've been part of the rivalry, for a while now, and that was really fun, winning that one.
Injuries caused Dylan to miss 49 games over 2 seasons.
The positive side of an injury is that you realize how much you love the game, and it really makes you want to come back. I think some people can get a little complacent and just happy playing the game, or they don't really love the game anymore. They kind of are just playing because that's their routine and they just go through the motions. When you get an injury or a setback, you realize you really have to grind and push to get to the level you were at before, and it makes you really miss it. So with the hand my sophomore year and then my junior year, the concussion, I've had a couple surgeries. I think it kind of all added up to where I am right now in the game and how much I love it.
Tech hosted 54th GLI this week, and Dylan talks about the first half of the 2018-19 season.
We've already had our ups and downs in the season. Like, we didn't start exactly where we wanted to start, and we've had some downs even in the middle here, but overall, we've got a young team, so I mean that's nice that we're good already and we're playing good hockey, but getting better every day I think has been a big part of it. We had a lot of non-conference that we didn't do the best in early in the season, but by the time that we kind of had some growing pains and got through that, we were really ready for our conference schedule. And I think there's a lot of confidence going into games now. We're not complacent and saying, oh, we're just going to go out there and roll over someone, but there is confidence and we know we're a good team and we know we can perform.
Dylan's 5-year college hockey career will end in a few months. He talks about his upcoming plans.
I love the game, so I might as well keep playing. There's plenty of time for work, and sure I'll do a lot of work in my life, so I'd like to play some hockey.
Whenever he does decide to hop into the corporate world, he will have some great recommendations for his time as a student at Michigan Tech.
You could almost see him running and investing in companies. So it seemed like a no-brainer that he would do an MBA to build on his engineering. He's an entrepreneur. That's Dylan.
Every company that gives back to the university obviously wants our top talent, but here was a unique situation where a CEO from a company had a direct call, give us your best, right? Well, about a month later, we reached out to the CEO. The only student we really recommended was Dylan. Like, here, if you're gonna hire anybody from Michigan Tech, it better be this guy. So go after him, make sure he goes and works for your company. He wants to work in the Twin Cities area, right? They extended him an offer. He spent last summer there as an intern, so hopefully the experience was good and hopefully they give him a full-time offer. But if anybody could do the job, working alongside a CEO or CFO, it would be definitely Dylan.